Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Group Inc., aprgi.com. And you'll find all these great people. Plus, I forgot to mention, we are a new Vault magazine out.
That's right.
Have you seen that
I
thing?
thought you were keeping it a secret. I wasn't sure you wanted to say anything.
So sexy. This is, and no sales. There's no ads. It's all articles from these professionals and some of the local businesses around town, like Salt Creek giving away another one of the recipes.
Yeah, I saw the stuffed halibut.
Yeah, no doubt. Before it was, and all three of the magazines are there too. So it's great information. You can subscribe to the Vault magazine. Go to aprgi.com. All right. Without further ado, I believe we're here to talk to Lisa Odom with McDowell Odom, talking about estate plan. We talked about why you don't do it, why we didn't do it. And basically, it's just being lazy or thinking it's too daunting of a task. But we will tell you, Gino and I both did it. It was nothing. Actually, the questions were enlightening. Lisa, you're just a pro to go over because you made it easy. It didn't even seem like we were doing an estate plan. And I have to say, I walked out of there so proud that it's done. And so relieved, because now there's so much that's protected now. Everybody's going to get what they're supposed to get based on what we want. Everybody's protected the way we want. Our house is protected. Our families are protected. It's a great, great thing, and it didn't cost. For your time as an attorney, please, can we tell them how much it cost?
Sure.
All right.
Ahead.
It was
for a married couple, it's $22.50.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's so reasonable. And at the end of the day, you know, especially for someone, I hold real estate, right? So if I had to go through probate gets calculated on the gross value of that real estate, not the net value of that real estate.
That's right.
So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much I own the properties. I say, oh, wow, you've got a $3 million estate. Well, not really. Not after you take out my mortgages and the debts I have against it and all that. Well, that's the way it gets calculated. So how much would a probate cost on a $3 million estate?
On a $3 million, well, on $1 million estate, it's roughly $46,000.
What? One more time, please.
$46,000.
And that could be just if you own a home that's worth $1 million, but you owe $800, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
It does not matter.
$46,000?
Yes.
Okay,
See,
next time we come
how
back,
much did you
for
charge?
$1 million.
How much you charge? $22.50?
$22.50.
Let me think. Oh, that's a pretty good investment.
Wow,
It's a great investment, and honestly, that's not the only problem with probate. There's a lot more problem. I mean, the expense is one huge issue because you have personal representative fees plus attorney's fees, and the attorney and the personal representative get the equal amount. So there's a lot of fights in families because one sibling will be the chosen personal representative. So these assets are split equally, but this person gets their personal rep fees first. So they might get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in personal rep fees, and then it's divided, and it just causes angst.
Yeah, they didn't see that coming, I bet.
No, they usually don't, and they usually don't like it very much.
Of
So.
course not. Of course not. Okay, so we're gonna tease you a little bit. We're gonna go into all the pitfalls and some real live examples in the final segment. Let's talk about what is an estate plan, just so you all know what one is, because I know I learned a lot about so much more about what an estate plan really is.
So an estate plan is really just like a collection of a group of documents that manage your estate. So it includes the revocable living trust, pour-over wills, powers of attorney for financial management, advanced healthcare directives, assignments of your personal property, HIPAA authorizations, nominations of guardians, and all of these documents work together to make your estate run smoothly and seamlessly if you are either incapacitated or you pass away. And that's a really important point because people will just say, oh, I'll just do a will. A will can dispose of your assets just like a trust can. But the difference between a will and a trust is that the will only becomes really active and used when you pass away. So if you became incapacitated and someone needed to step into your shoes financially or from a health perspective.
I wouldn't even thought of that.
Yeah, you have to look at conservatorship, which conservatorship, you think probate is expensive. Conservatorship is awful. It's very expensive. It's court supervised generally.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a good situation to be in for anybody. So
I mean, just a small example I'm thinking of is I know a particular person that had been incapacitated, you know, almost in like a coma for 2 months. And during that time, their financial house just became a disaster.
Absolutely.
Ruined their credit, totally, everything became a total mess. So when they got back up on their feet, everything was a mess.
Yep.
even though they were physically recovering now, everything that had fallen apart that took years to get back together.
And had they just, even if they had just executed a power of attorney and an advanced healthcare directive, they could have avoided that result so much easier because their family would have been able to step into their shoes and continue managing their assets. I mean,
and who's going to do that? What's nice is, I mean, I know
Yes.
ours, it says, if something happens, who's taking over this stuff?
And that's a
and you can
huge
think
issue.
of like, who's responsible enough? Not Gino.
It is a weird thing when you start thinking about that.
Of course,
You're like,
I point,
Yeah.
Lisa, she's,
Yeah.
I'll call her anal, but she's really on top of things.
Yeah.
I know she'll take care of it because she cares enough and she's organized enough to take care of that.
And
It's-
it's not the same people for your medical than it is for your financial. It's a
No.
weird thing. When you go through it, you're like, oh, yeah, not so much for medical, but yeah, pretty good for financial, yeah.
No, it's actually, in fact,
Yeah.
a lot of times they're totally different people
Yeah.
because the financial are very, they're very left brain thinkers. They
Right.
they're worried about money. They're very strict with money. Whereas the person who's dealing with your health, you usually want them to have some emotion.
Some emotion, not going, pull the
just
plug.
pull the plug. Yeah,
Pull the plug.
exactly.
I see the bottom line here.
It's all right. You get the death certificate. I'll send it in. We'll start working on this right away. They're very, very matter of fact, very practical. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a very important thing, and there's other reasons why you want to have it too. I mean, for someone with minors like you and I have, I mean, obviously you need to set who's going to take your children if something, God forbid, happens to you. Again, it goes back to people don't think this is ever going to happen to you. But let me tell you, in the last couple of years, I've had clients who have had spouses that have passed away who were in their 30s. Surprises happen. I mean, honestly, we can't control the car driving next to us on the freeway. We can't control cancer. We think we can, but we really can't. And those are the types of things that are obviously for people with minors. That's a huge issue.
I know my wife and I, because I guess for some reason we don't have children, but we're on the list for, I don't know, 7, 9 kids that we can possibly end up with. So we buy them separate plane tickets just to make sure.
Exactly.
But those are all super, super important stuff. And again, if you just tuned in, you're here with the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. And go to donandgino.com. We replay it all the time so that you can't miss this great information from Lisa Odom with McDowell Odom LLP. These great attorneys that are just estate planning gurus and our friends. They're your friends. It's so comfortable, so relaxing, and so informative. You ask the right questions and you listen, which is really very cool to have professionals that actually listen and help guide you down the path. It's something we don't really understand. I mean, you think being part of mortgage, loans for, I've been doing it for 28 years, you think this stuff would be in my back pocket, but I don't study this stuff.
Right.
So it's really good stuff. So we want to make sure you stay tuned because we're going to close out the show. That's right. Only one more little segment. We're talking about estate planning, who gets it, who needs it, why you should have it. And this next part's going to be the most fun. What happens if you don't have it? We'll give you some live examples when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Can't wait to share this great info.